Listen to that shot. This is the Karabiner 98K, the standard German rifle of the Second World War. Films and games often present it as a sniper rifle, but most Kar98Ks never carried a scope. They were ordinary infantry weapons, powerful, accurate, reliable, and limited to only 5 rounds. That made the Kar98K an excellent bolt-action rifle, but also a weapon caught between 2 eras. Its story began with the Mauser Model 98 action and the Gewehr 98, Germany's standard rifle during the First World War. The Gewehr was strong and accurate, but at more than 1.25 meters long, it was awkward inside vehicles, buildings, and fast-moving infantry formations. Germany developed shorter Mauser rifles during the interwar years. In 1935, the Army officially adopted the Karabiner 98 Kurz. Kurz means short, although the new rifle still measured roughly 1.11 meters. It was shorter and handier than the Gewehr 98, but it remained a full-sized military rifle. The Kar98K weighed around 4 kilograms and fired the powerful 7.92 by 57 millimeter Mauser cartridge. Its internal magazine held 5 rounds. To load it, a soldier opened the bolt, inserted a 5-round stripper clip, and pressed the cartridges down into the magazine. Closing the bolt chambered the first round. At its heart was the famous controlled-feed Mauser action. A large claw extractor gripped the cartridge case as the bolt moved forward. Turning the handle down locked the action with 2 strong front lugs, while a third lug provided additional protection. The 3-position safety sat at the rear of the bolt. After every shot, the soldier had to lift the handle, pull the bolt back to eject the empty case, push it forward, and lock it again. The action was strong and dependable, but the shooter's hand had to leave the trigger between every round. Standard rifles used iron sights. Only specially selected rifles received telescopic sights for sniper use. On campaign, the Kar98K earned a reputation for accuracy, reliability, and a hard-hitting cartridge. It could deliver effective fire at several hundred meters, and its shorter length made it easier to carry through forests, trenches, and ruined towns. Its design was already familiar to generations of soldiers, while its simple loading system and rugged construction suited mass wartime service. But the rifle cannot be understood without the German infantry squad. Its main source of sustained fire was normally the MG-34 or, later, the MG-42. Riflemen protected the machine gun crew, carried ammunition, watched its flanks, and moved with it. In that system, the Kar98K supported the squad's real center of firepower. Its limitations became more serious when a rifleman fought at close range or without machine gun support. 5 rounds disappeared quickly. Cycling the bolt disturbed the shooter's aim, and the full-powered cartridge produced noticeable recoil. Mud, cold, and damaged ammunition could still cause trouble, even in a famously reliable design. As the war continued, factories simplified several fittings and finishes to save time and material. But they could not remove the rifle's basic limitation. It still had to be manually cycled after every shot. The comparison with Allied rifles reveals how quickly infantry weapons were changing. Britain's Lee Enfield was also bolt-action, but it held 10 rounds and could be worked very rapidly. The American M1 Garand was a greater technological step. It held 8 rounds in an en-bloc clip and fired semi-automatically. An M1 rifleman could fire another aimed shot without manually operating a bolt. That did not guarantee victory. Training, cover, visibility, and squad support still mattered enormously. But in a sudden close-range fight, faster follow-up shots offered a real advantage over the Kar98K. Germany introduced the semi-automatic Gewehr 43, but too late and in too few numbers to replace its bolt-action rifle. the STG-44 pointed even further toward the future, a compact selective fire weapon built around an intermediate cartridge. Beside it, the Kar98K looked like the perfected weapon of the previous generation. Captured rifles continued to serve after 1945, and some Israeli Kar98 pattern rifles were later converted to 7.62 NATO ammunition. The design survived because the Mauser action remained strong, practical, and trusted. So, was the Kar98K obsolete? Not when Germany adopted it in 1935. It was a refined rifle designed for an army whose squad firepower centered on the machine gun. But the war changed around it. The Kar98K began the conflict as a modern standard rifle and ended it as proof that even an excellent weapon can belong to an era that is already passing.